Hey everybody, before the episode starts, first of all, hello, welcome back. Been a long time. But you're gonna hear in this episode, Pat's gonna sound a little weird. It's because he lost his pop filter. He's gonna sound pretty bad. Literally have no idea where it went. We only realized right before we started recording. So he's gonna sound a little weird, but don't worry, he'll sound normal in the next episode, so don't worry about that. Whenever the next episode ends up being, hopefully it's not in 10 months this time. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back to Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
And my name's Pat. I don't have a bid for this one.
That's okay. We didn't have a lot of preparation time, of course. It's only been 10 months.
10 months?
I don't know.
Almost a year.
I checked the last episode was posted November 12th, 2024. So
I don't even remember what the last movie we did was.
it was Deadpool and Wolverine.
That was a movie. That's a movie my opinions on have changed quite a bit over these past 10 months, actually. So
me too. It's let's give our updated opinion on that movie. I think it's not good.
I think it's aggressively mid.
And there we go. Great update. See you in 10 months.
That was an episode.
But today we're talking about two movies and by extension a third documentary, but we're not really going to be focusing much on it. We're just going to pay reference to it a lot. Today we're talking about a goofy movie and an extremely goofy movie.
Two movies that are very near and dear to my heart, personally. I love these movies.
Yeah,
and
me too.
We watched a documentary together recently, actually. For the first time for me. I don't remember if you had seen it before. But,
no, that was my first time watching it. Yeah, the documentary is called Not Just a Goof. It's directed by Christopher Naness and Eric Kimmelton. They made this documentary about the making of the first Goofy movie. This documentary doesn't I don't think it mentions an extremely goofy movie at all. Yeah, this is just it's a nice documentary. It's nice watching a documentary that has no like disastrous moments.
It's funny you mentioned that because yesterday and this morning I was watching a friend of the podcast with Mr. Toonman. We went down a rabbit hole of watching true crime documentaries, and boy oh boy are those topics very different than the Goofy movie one.
Yep. Without further ado, let's talk cinema. So, a Goofy movie. This came out in 1995, directed by Kevin Lima.
It's 1 year older than I am.
Wow. I wasn't even in the picture when this movie came out. This is just the greatest childhood movie for me. I think that I used to watch this constantly, all the time. I had the VHS, I had the DVD, I had the real DVD, and I had a pirated DVD. Sorry, FBI.
I definitely had pirated copies of both this and Extremely Goofy movie. I watched them a lot as a kid, but I continued to watch them even more as an adult. As I said earlier, I love these movies quite a bit. The documentary Not So Goof kind of touches upon it, but these movies didn't do very well when they first released, or at least the first one didn't. But they grew a cult following over time, and I'm definitely one of those people who have joined that cult mob of Goofy movie enjoyers. It's a great time. I love this movie a lot.
It sucks that it didn't get the recognition it deserved until many, many years later.
I don't know why. Like the documentary touches on it, where people wanted it to be more silly, goofy, I guess. But like the movie is still really like funny, and it is silly. Just because it has like serious moments, I don't think it takes away from the fact that it's still a goofy movie, and he's still a very silly character. He's a very goofy character. I don't get the complaints from the time. Obviously, I wasn't around, so maybe the climate was just different. But I don't really get a lot of the complaints. The documentary touches on that, like the critic quotes from the time. I just don't get it. But here we are, and it got its recognition now, which is great.
Yeah, I think the reason it was because back when this movie came out, the documentary touches upon this, that the Goofy character was only really seen in alongside Mickey Mouse and in his own shorts and stuff. He's a klutz. He's like a klutz character. He's very clumsy, and he's just a silly guy. And especially in in the Goof Troop TV show, which originally this movie was supposed to be a Goof Troop movie that was about the TV show Goof Troop, because that came out I think a year or two before a Goofy movie. The Goof Troop heavily features Max and Max and his friends and Goofy and the other guy, the big guy. What's his name?
Pete.
Pete. Yeah, and they wanted to have all of the Goof Troop characters in a Goofy movie, and they wanted it to be like silly and how Goofy would act. Like this is like a Goofy's movie. But the director Kevin Lima, he wanted to see a different side of Goofy. Because everybody knew Goofy's son was Max, but we never really got like a moment between them, and we never got to see Goofy as a father. So he wanted it to be a more serious father-son road trip movie.
I think this movie succeeds at doing that, but it still is like Goofy
still
at its
Goofy.
core. He's still very clumsy. Like there's a lot of slapstick. They get into a lot of antics because of Goofy's goofiness, right? Like the whole waterfall segment of the movie is just because Goofy's kind of just he's big himself. It only happens because he's Goofy, and he's like that the whole movie. There's never a point where I'm watching either movie really where I'm like, this doesn't feel like Goofy, and maybe that's because I'm looking at it like in hindsight. Because like the Goofy I know as a kid born in the '90s versus I guess who Goofy was for people watching it when the movie came out is different. I have a different version of Goofy in my head, but I feel like it's pretty true to the Goofy character throughout both movies' runtimes. So I don't really get the complaint. It does stop to be a little serious. They do have more like heart to heart moments, but he never doesn't feel like a funny slapsticky kind of character. Even when he's being serious. The more serious moments have jokes in them. There's like the heart to heart in the car where they're talking about high dad soup, and then it's cut with like the Bigfoot joke. Like it's still funny. They it never comes to like a halt, So I don't get that complaint, but maybe it's because I wasn't there. I have no point of reference to what Goofy was like before this movie came out without all the other context of what came later. I don't know. But I think this movie does a great job at being a Goofy movie.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I don't know what the hell they were talking about. Like this is Goofy, but maybe Goofy acted different in Goof Troop. I didn't watch a lot of Goof Troop as a kid, and I didn't.
I've never seen Goof Troop personally, so.
I didn't see a lot of the old Goofy shorts either. Like I saw what I had on those old VHS tapes that would be like compilations of Disney character shorts.
I didn't have any of those growing up. I know what you're talking about because of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I've never had them as a kid. I only saw them as an adult.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I loved this movie, and I loved the serious tone mixed with the goofiness. Apparently, they even wanted it to be even more serious. They didn't even want Goofy to have a goofy voice. They wanted him to have a celebrity voice actor.
That would have been too far. I think the way things ended up struck a good balance. You need Bill Farmer as Goofy. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You can't do it without him.
Absolutely, you needed Bill Farmer for this. It makes no sense that they wanted. Well, this is what's his name? The old CEO of Disney.
He's mentioned by name in the documentary, but I don't remember his name.
John Ratzenberger, was that his name?
That's something like that. Hold on, John.
No, that's John Ratzenberger's a voice actor.
Michael Eisner.
Michael Eisner, was it him?
He was the CEO in the '90s, according to Google.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was Michael Eisner. No, but it wasn't it the guy that left and started DreamWorks.
I don't know.
Hold on. Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Jeffrey Katzenberg that he was the one that would try to push to put celebrity voice acting and all the characters from Goof Troop and make it less about Goofy and more about Max.
I mean, I do like that Max has he shares the Goofy shares the spotlight with Max in both movies. I do like Max a lot as a character. But I think making Goofy a more straight man and having a celebrity voice would have been too far removed from the character. Like I think that version of Goofy is what people thought one we got was like, and he's really not like that in my opinion.
No, he's still goofy. He gets into some slapstick stuff. He hurts himself. He's
Yeah,
silly. He's a dad from the
he,
'70s, so
yeah,
he's
he
really
acts silly. Like he's goofy. I could totally see like taking the goofy from like the how to fish shorts, right, or the how to shorts in general. I'm just taking that goofy and putting him into this movie. He doesn't seem like a huge departure. He feels like goofy to me. Maybe again that's the power of being a '90s kid. So I have no frame of reference. But I think the movie does a good job at portraying the character in a way that works for a film. Because obviously you do need to change Goofy a little bit to work on the big screen, but I think all the changes fit perfectly fine. I have no issue with how Goofy or Max is presented in this movie. Even like Pete is really good in this movie, and they all work. They work as characters in a movie versus characters in a short.
yeah. In this movie, they make Goofy act like as much as a father as he can. Like he's just like he's a silly guy. He's a silly father, and he's embarrassing to Max. Max is embarrassed by him, and that's very relatable. You're embarrassed by your parents when you're at a certain age, when you're a certain teenage age. That was a fucking weird sentence.
Well, I think it's a very relatable struggle that a lot of kids had when they're in their teens, and their parents just being their parents is embarrassing. The tagline, I don't know if this is a tagline for the movie, but it's the quote on Letterboxd. Or it's hard to be cool when your dad is goofy. Like I get it, that's a relatable concept. I kind of wish the second movie, which we'll get to, did something a little different with that. But I think for this first one, it's a very relatable struggle that a lot of kids had. I know I felt that way when I was a teenager. I thought my parents were lame, right? A lot of kids did.
Like, because your parents, they listen to old music you've never heard before, and they try to make you listen to it, and they say weird stuff. They dress weird, and it's like that's not what I'm used to seeing, so it's weird. Especially in this movie, they play this whole bit that Goofy was born in the probably late 50s and grew up in the 60s and 70s. So he's trying to push his 1960s style onto Max, and obviously Max being a 90s kid, he wants to be cool and watch Thrasher and and skateboard. So he's embarrassed by his father, and throughout the movie, he learns to embrace his father's goofiness, if you will.
Yeah, and that goes both ways too. Like, just like it's hard for a kid to relate to their parents who have lived a whole lifetime without this kid even being a factor, right? They'll never really be able to understand without having a talk with them. Goofy also doesn't know how to relate to a kid who grew up in a different era completely. It's like I grew up in the age where the internet was starting to become new and common in households. So like to go from like my parents who didn't grow up with these things, there were just certain things I gravitated towards as I was growing up that they just couldn't relate to. And that causes conflict, and that's normal. That's a very normal thing to happen. It's a very relatable struggle both ways. And again, I think this movie does a great job at portraying those struggles. Because it's not just Max thinking Goofy's lame, which he kind of is, right? But it's also Goofy just he can't relate to Max either without meeting in the middle. The movie really is about them trying to meet in the middle, and I think by the end of it, they succeed. Ignoring the sequel, they do succeed at meeting in the middle by the end of the movie.
We'll talk about the sequel in a bit, but you can tell that the sequel was a straight to DVD movie.
Yeah, I love that movie too. But it really feels like instead of an extremely goofy movie, it's just another goofy movie. It's the same thing. Max is a little older. We're doing it again though.
Yeah. But we're still talking about the first one here. The first one, we're talking about this one here. Eventually, we get to the actual what the movie's really about. So Goofy, when he was a kid with his grandfather, it's his grandfather or his father? Is his grandfather?
His father, Max's grandfather.
Okay, yeah. So when Goofy was young with his father, he went on this road trip across the United States and from New York to LA, they made all these stops and everything, and he's very fond of this memory he shared with his father, and he wants Max to share the same memory because in Goofy's mind, he's trying to essentially relive his childhood. I guess Goofy's going through a bit of a midlife crisis, and he's trying to put that onto Max so that he can have like the same fun memory that he shared so dearly with his father.
Yeah, and I think it also comes from a place of like I was able to enjoy my father's company, and I was able to relate with my father on these road trips. Maybe I can get to that same point with my son by retreading the same ground, and then along the way we'll keep my son out of the electric chair. Because we didn't mention it, but Goofy's main like driving point to go on this road trip to begin with is because he's afraid of his son becoming a delinquent, and obviously they can't have a conversation because then we don't have a movie. So Goofy kind of freaks out and forces him on this trip.
Pete keeps talking to Goofy, trying to manipulate Goofy into trying to keep a tight hold on Max because that's what Pete does with Pete Jr. He keeps saying things like keep him under your thumb, don't let him get out of hand. I don't think this is a hot take to say, but Pete's a bad father.
Sure, I'm not claiming Pete's a bad father. I'm just claiming his methods are a little extreme.
Like in the second movie, Pete literally can't wait for PJ to leave because he's gonna turn his bedroom into a bowling alley.
Yeah, he's not aggressive. That sounds bad. He's
Not aggressive. He doesn't
what's the
beat up
word?
PJ.
No, he doesn't beat up PJ. He's like he rules with an iron fist. You know, I'm the parent. I'm in charge. There's no dispute.
He's the hard ass father, and like because Pete and Goofy grew up in the same era. They're about the same age, so like Pete is. If you've seen that '70s show, Pete is Red and Goofy is Kitty.
Yeah, that's actually a very good comparison.
Yeah. And Goofy definitely acts more like a mother than he does a father, but that's just because he's a goofy, silly guy, you know?
I can't picture Goofy just in general being a Red foreman. Like I don't see him being the hard ass, tightly wound kind of character. Even when he like sort of tries to be in this movie, when he finds out Max was lying to him, that's another thing we kind of skipped over. We'll get back to it. But when he found out that Max was lying to him about where the destination, what they were going to when they ended up going to the Powerline concert. Even when he's trying to get Max to tell the truth, and he finds out he's being lied to, and he tries to be a bit of a hard ass, he's not able to. He can't. It's just not in his nature. I like the dichotomy between Pete and Goofy, but I never. I don't see Goofy ever being a hard ass. It's just not. It's not for him. It's not. It's not his role.
He's not the kind of father that would like rule over his son like Pete does with PJ.
No, it would not. Never happen.
Yeah, Goofy would rather have Max live his own life, do what he wants to do. But near the beginning of the movie, like the reason they go on the road trip in the first place is just Goofy's a paranoid father. He doesn't want Max to go with the wrong crowd or become a delinquent and get the electric chair.
Yeah.
Which let's talk about the principal character real quick. Let's talk about the principal. First of all, great character. He's hilarious. But he goes a little fucking overboard, doesn't he? Like all Max did was like he did a little power line concert on the last day of school, and like just to impress Roxanne.
He interrupted a very important assembly. He's a delinquent child, and if he continues down this path, he's gonna get sent to prison
and die. He will face capital punishment.
There is no alternative. He will die.
and that implants this idea in Goofy's head because the principal fucking calls Goofy and tells him this.
Tells him you're a bad father. Your son's gonna get the electric chair, and it's your fault. Like you did this.
We need an analysis on this principal character.
He's really funny though. Like he's great. I love the scene of him talking to Goofy, just like screaming at Goofy and like the colors. It makes him look like a madman. It's really funny.
Like he's a weird guy, and he puts this bad idea in Goofy's mind, and then he tells Pete about it, and then Pete gets in his mind, and then Goofy's conflicted, and he's like, you know what, I need to do something with my son, because if I don't, he's gonna get the electric chair.
Yeah, and there's your setup for this like, fun, goofy adventure. All this to say that we didn't really talk about Powerline and Roxanne, but Max, instead of wanting to go on the road trip, he wants to go to LA for this concert, and he wanted to go to. Originally, it was supposed to be a party, right? I think it was supposed to be like a party where they were gonna watch the Powerline concert. But then Goofy forced the trip on him, so he lied and said we're gonna be there at the concert, and that's like the struggle between the two later on in the road trip. Goofy gives Max the map. You can decide where we go. We're getting to LA.
Max is deeply in love with Roxanne. So deeply in love that we never see her again.
Yeah, so in love that she's never mentioned before or after this movie.
Yep, she is a exclusive character to this movie. No, she's not in Goof Troop. She's only in this movie. I think she's mentioned as somewhere later down the line. She's mentioned at one point, but we never see her again.
I kind of wish she was in an extremely goofy movie.
I wish she was in a lot of things.
At that point, it would have maybe been like too much of a copy paste, but like they could have gone to college together. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know what I guess the implication is they broke up.
It happens, but it would have been nice if we saw her again, especially like an extremely goofy movie focuses a lot on Goofy's relationship with the librarian. I can't remember her name right now. We could have had Roxanne be there for Max as kind of a parallel, but no Roxanne in the sequel or ever again. Not even in Kingdom Hearts, and everybody's in Kingdom Hearts except Max. One day.
Max is not in Kingdom Hearts?
Not at all. He's referenced, but that's
it.
At least Goofy talks about it. That's all we get.
Not a video game podcast. Another thing that I had no idea about for this movie until we watched the documentary is apparently Powerline is like this icon of black culture, especially like 90s black culture. I didn't know about this. I think that's really interesting because
I think it's awesome.
I think that's really fucking cool. Like I never heard anything about this. Like never heard any talk about Powerline being so influential in black culture in the 90s and early 2000s. Like this is news to me.
I think it's great that they were able to take that and maintain it all this time.
Yeah.
It comes up in the documentary. Even the director, like it wasn't his intention initially, but it's really cool that they were able to take this icon and run with it, and that's great. I always think that's a cool thing people can gain from media like this beyond what the author originally intended.
Yeah, this movie has so many great things for so many people. If you're young and watching this movie, you relate to Max and you're like, oh, parents are so embarrassing and they're weird and they're old. But as you get older, you start relating to Goofy because Goofy doesn't want his son to become a bad kid. He wants to try and be a good father, and Goofy doesn't understand why he can't relate to Max, because in Goofy's eyes, Max is just a little version of him. But in reality, Max is his own completely different person, and Goofy doesn't realize that until halfway through the movie, until the waterfall scene, right?
It's like my favorite scene in the movie. I really like the dialogue. It's like Goofy's like, I understand that you want to be your own person and you wanna live your life. I just want to be a part of it, and that struck a chord with me as my dad wasn't always around growing up. He was working, and there were times when I would have liked him to be there, but he couldn't. And vice versa, I grew up and I became more distant. As I got older, I didn't, we ended up meeting in the middle as I got older, and it's something I was able to relate to a lot with this movie, more so as I got older. And I got to look back at my relationship with my parents. It's nice. It's a very heartfelt scene. It's my favorite scene across both movies, excluding the one that I reference constantly. in my real life that we'll talk about. And that one's more of a funny thing. But the conversation on top of the car and the waterfall scene is my favorite scene across both movies. It's so well done. It's very relatable to both audiences, the kids and the adults. It's written super well. It's still very goofy too. It is a very goofy scene. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't get the complaint that that he wasn't goofy enough in this movie. Like it's perfect. It really is just perfect.
Yeah, and I don't get that so many people working on this movie wanted Goofy to have just a regular voice, because like, oh, but the serious scenes won't work if Goofy sounds like Goofy. But like, it works in the movie. In the waterfall scene, in the scene where they're in the car, they're talking about Hi Dad Soup, Max and Goofy in the car when Goofy's starting to suspect that Max is lying to him about the map. This is literally right before the waterfall scene. This happens. They're serious scenes that show a lot of emotion, a lot of great acting from Bill Farmer as Goofy, to be able to have such a weird cartoon character voice and also have these serious scenes. Like there's some characters that just sound way too cartoony, like Mickey Mouse. You'd think they would never have a serious scene in anything, but then you watch I don't know, cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts 2 and
Runaway Brain.
and Mickey Mouse is able to do serious scenes with his Mickey voice.
I think the Mickey voice kind of, this is a weird comment, but I think it works as like a wise, like, elder kind of character. like imagine imagine Gandalf's dialogue, but like with the Mickey Mouse voice. I think it can work. I think it works as like a wise, like the Mickey voice or the Mickey character can do like a wise, like, elder kind of character, and it works. I feel that, but just like I think how like the Goofy voice can still work for a serious moment. I think these characters can have more depth, and they just didn't get them before the '90s, I guess, at all. And I'm glad that kind of changed. Like I don't know if you've ever seen House of Mouse.
No.
The animated series? Okay, one, you should. It's great. The whole premise of that show is Mickey Mouse owns a nightclub, and he's still goofy, he's still silly, he's still Mickey Mouse, as are all the other Disney characters. But he plays a lot more of like a straight man in that show than he does in some of the other things, or like even in like the older Christmas specials, I guess Twice Upon a Christmas. Mickey Mouse can be serious, Goofy can be serious. You just need to allow these characters to be that way and have the stories be written in a way that for it to make sense. I think a lot of people were held up on the voice back when these movies came out, and that they weren't paying attention to like this voice can't be serious, but they totally can. It can definitely work.
This movie, even with the Goofy voices, I mean, it's only really Goofy that has the Goofy voice. Max sounds like a normal kid. Roxanne sounds like a normal kid.
I think the adults kind of like Pete has a very Disney voice, but he is a returning Disney character.
So you really feel the emotion in this character, especially from Goofy. Like it's such an amazing performance from Bill Farmer. I mean, you could really feel that in this movie, Goofy he's just trying so hard to be a good father. And Max is not reciprocating. Max is trying to let his father be a little weird, just so he can like get it over with and be like, okay, maybe he'll be done soon, and we can like just relax at this point. But then eventually Max realizes he needs to maybe embrace a little bit of his Goofy side, especially because Roxanne likes the goofiness of Max. That's why she likes him. It's just a great story of fatherhood. Of a good coming of age movie. If you see it, like you can look at it in two perspectives. If you look at it from Max's perspective, it's a coming of age movie. If you look at it from Goofy's perspective, it's a movie about fatherhood.
It's also a fun, just like road trip movie. I've never been on a road trip like that anyway, especially when I was a kid. I don't know if you have, Lib.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, okay, like that's another angle you could come and relate to, because a road trip is it's a very different experience than just like going somewhere by plane or going on like a short drive. You really are trapped with a person in a car for like a long time. I was talking about this before we started recording, but someone tracked the route Goofy and Max took Obviously, there's some liberties like the waterfall scene. They kind of mapped a realistic route to get from that point to where they ended up. I know it's like a 17-day trip. That's a long time to be trapped with a person, even if you like are on the same page with them, right? So that's automatically going to lead to some conflict. I've never had that experience, but watching this movie like made me want to go on a road trip.
Yeah, road trips are great. I love road trips. The thing about road trips, though, you learn a lot about everybody in the car when you're stuck in the car together. I guess a road trip is actually a really great way for a father and son to bond. But of course, the circumstances need to be a little different than it is in the Goofy movie because Goofy forces Max to go on this road trip.
And they make a lot of stops that like you might not want to stop at. Like they go to like I've been calling it Five Nights at Freddy. It's our Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But they go to like a Chuck E. Cheese, which like Max is a teenager. I understand not necessarily being interested. I wasn't when I was his age. I'm interested in it now for completely different reasons. But I get not wanting to stop there. They go to like random like hotels that might not be as comfortable as just being in your own bed. They make a bunch of stops that I can understand Max not being happy with, as on top of being forced to be there to begin with. It's like you can relate to both characters, even
Yeah.
if you're the adult and watching the movie, you could still relate to Max because you were there at some point. Every teenager's been there. Every teenager's at some point or another has had a conflict with their parents or was forced to do something they didn't want to do. God knows I've been there.
Yeah, me too.
I'm an adult. I'm going to be 30 years old, and I'm still doing things for my parents sometimes that I don't want to do. But you have to, right? You need to. Sometimes you just gotta buckle down and meet your parents, meet your kids halfway.
Yeah, and this movie only happens because Pete and the principal get into Goofy's head because I'm sure Goofy would have wanted to do this road trip eventually with Max at some point because that's just the person Goofy is. But he wanted to do it immediately right now, and even though Max was saying, "No, Dad, I don't want to go. There's a Powerline concert. I have a date with Roxanne." Goofy wasn't hearing any of it. He was like, no, because if we don't do this road trip right now, you're going to get the electric chair. So we got to do this right now.
Obviously, there's no movie if they had like a healthy conversation at the start of the movie. Like if Goofy confronted Max about what his principal said and Max could have explained himself, things would have ended up differently. The moral, at least at that point of the story, is you should probably have a conversation with your parents or your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we don't have a movie. We need to have a movie. I think people criticizing that aspect of the movie need to lighten up a little bit because ultimately you're saying you'd rather not have a movie than have a movie. You need to have. There needs to be some like I'm gonna call it dumb, but I've definitely been in scenarios with my parents where I let things escalate because I didn't want to have a conversation. It's still a very realistic thing to happen, but like I think people calling that part dumb or being a little ridiculous. Like the movie needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
You need to let it happen.
Yeah, and going back to road trips, because like I was saying, the longer you stay in the car, the more you learn about the people in the car, even people you've known for your entire life, like a father and son. When you're in the car, at first it's just like like it's just a regular car drive, but the longer it goes on, the more restless you get. The car starts feeling uncomfortable. The whole point of a road trip, of course, is to you get to your destination, but it's that cliche. It's not about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. The longer you stay in the car, you're gonna want to get out of the car, so you make stops. And the stops are the highlight of the road trip. And just like in the movie, all the best parts are when they're out of the car. Like you're in the car and you're starting to get used to Max and Goofy's character and characters, and they're starting to fight a little bit, and then they stop fighting, they stay silent in the car, then they get out of the car, they go to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and then you get some story stuff there. They go to the motel and Pete is there for some reason, and you get some more story stuff there. You get back in the car, they get out of the car to go to this diner more story stuff happens there. That's when Goofy gives him the map. You know, I think I said those out of order, but you know, just like a real road trip. Like this wasn't a huge road trip. It wasn't even really a road trip. It was just a drive. But recently, Pat and I, we took a drive to Toronto, and you know, the car gets fucking restless after like an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't imagine staying in the car for 17 days throughout, like during the trip, halfway to Toronto when we stopped at Kingston. We got off at this this truck stop, and that was like a main highlight of that week for me, because it was like, okay, it was cool, because there's something about truck stops that just has this amazing vibe. When you walk in and you see the place full of people, you don't really think about it consciously, but you think about it later. Like, all of those people are on a road trip right now. All of those people that are at that truck stop are only there for max an hour, and you just so happen to make it there at a time where there was a lot of people, and they're all on a road trip, or they're all going somewhere. No one drives to a truck stop and then goes back home.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be really weird. Hey, listen, truck stops are the closest we get to Popeyes where we're from. So you know what? Maybe a truck stop is worth the drive.
maybe for us in a specific situation.
Yeah, very specific. I want fried chicken.
I mean, I think we're pretty much we're at the 45-minute mark here, talking about the first movie of this 3-movie episode.
I mean, I have more to say about this one than I do an Extremely Goofy Movie. I've been kind of talking down about it. I've been taking shots at it here and there. I think Extremely Goofy Movie is still a great time, but as I've alluded to, it really is the same movie again. But you know, instead of in a road trip in high school, they're in college, and there's the backdrop of the X Games. That's what it's called, right? The extreme sports, because it's the '90s and everything had to be extreme, and skateboards and things are blowing up, and it's awesome. But like at its core, it really is the exact same movie. They just give Goofy his own love interest, his own like kind of arc. But it just kind of retreads the same ground, so I have a lot less to say about that movie, unfortunately. Still good, still recommended. And it has great scenes, but I wish they did something different. Editor's note: we didn't mention the songs. The songs are awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So we just finished recording the episode. We did not talk about any of the songs. So let's talk about the songs real quick. So On the Open Road is a straight up banger.
Best song in the movie, I think.
Yeah, probably. On the Open Road walked so that another day of sun could run.
True.
That is a joke I stole from Schaefer-Illis.
Stand Proud is also a certified banger.
Yeah, all the Powerline songs are good.
Stand Out, not Stand Proud. That's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure song. I'm sorry.
All of the songs in the movie are fantastic. We love them. I don't think there's any songs in Extremely Goofy Movie.
There's licensed music.
Oh yeah, there's licensed music. Yeah, there's some disco songs.
Yeah, Shake Your Groove Thing is in the second one, and that's my favorite scene in any movie ever, I think. That's when Goofy dances with Sylvia. It's the best.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, wish we talked about the songs more in the actual recording. This will be edited in post, I guess. Or like at the end of the episode. But
I don't know, I'm probably gonna put it somewhere in the middle.
Okay, well the songs are real good. They're real good.
Yeah, they're great songs. Go listen to them.
Disney usually knows what they're doing when it comes to songs. I think even the like really annoying like popular ones, like the songs in Frozen, I think Let It Go is a good song. I think Disney knows what they're doing with music. This movie is no exception. They're great.
Yeah. They're good. They're good songs, especially On the Open Road. I mean, that's just a great song.
It really is. Like in the End of the Day of Sun, they're like the same song.
Yeah.
It's this. I literally never thought about that before. It's the same scene. Goofy Movie did it better.
It did do it better. It did it first, and it did it better. All right. There you go.
Bye-bye.
Right. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
I wish they did something different.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Not even mentioning Roxanne at all. At the end of the Goofy movie, Max and Goofy, they meet halfway.
Yeah, they come to an
They
understanding.
come to an understanding. They love each other very much. And then at the beginning of an extremely goofy movie, it's like it's completely ignored and they're back to square one.
And that's also like I'm not gonna say it's unrealistic. Like I get it because like, you know even after there've been times where I've come to an understanding with my parents, but I'm still a dumb teenager, so I'm still gonna butt heads with them. So I get it from Max's perspective at least, but I feel Goofy also kind of reverting back and butting heads with his son and not understanding the need for Max to be an independent person without his father glued to his hip. I think that part kind of blows. I don't mind Goofy going back to school. I think the movie does a good enough job at establishing why. You know, he loses his job. This was the 2000s still, so like that job market of that era was very focused on you getting your degree, getting your papers. Not to say it's not anymore, but it was a lot bigger of a deal back then. There weren't as many other options. You either like you would get a degree, you would do a trade, or there wasn't a lot of wiggle room of what you can do for your life. So I get why Goofy wanted to go back to school. Did he need to choose Max's school? Did he need to follow Max around? Did he need to have the same arguments with Max again? No, not really. But I guess it's the same criticism where it's like, well, if we take that out, then we don't have a movie. And I guess I'd rather have the movie than not have it at all.
There's a couple factors that led to a worse movie. It's not a bad movie by any means. It came out 5 years later. It came out in 2000. It was straight to home video. It did not get a theater release. It had a lot lower of a budget, and it was directed by somebody else. It was directed by Douglas McCarthy. It was not directed by the same person who directed a Goofy movie, because the guy who directed a Goofy movie, Kevin Lima, he was too busy working on Tarzan. He went and directed Tarzan. They never talked about Extremely Goofy movie in Not Just a Goof in the documentary. I don't know if it's because they didn't have enough time to talk about it, or if it's because they didn't have as much insight on that movie as the first one, because for that documentary they got Kevin Lima and Bill Farmer and like all the cast members to appear in the documentary. You can even tell when you watch it that the animation is a little worse. They had to change some of the cast, but they still had Bill Farmer for Goofy and Jason Marsden for Max.
It's his friends, PJ and I just always call them Polly Shore. I don't remember the character's name.
His name's Bobby.
Bobby, like they have their same voice actors. Pete's back. Pete has the same voice actor. The animation definitely feels like it took a hit. It is straight to video, so I guess I get it. But I think the main reason why the documentary doesn't have a lot of I call it drama, but just like the first movie had a more troubled development. I think an Extremely Goofy movie was just a safe straight to DVD release. The story is very safe. There probably just wasn't a lot of behind the scenes. Like it's just like, yep, let's make another one, whatever. And then they made it, and there was no complications.
Yeah.
That's if I had to guess, I think that's what happened.
So in this movie, there's no road trip. Max goes off to college with his buddies. Max's friends play a much larger role in this movie. We see them a lot more. They go to college, and Goofy misses Max, and Goofy never finished college. So he was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back to college, so I could be with my son, because I want to be with my son. I miss my son. And of course, we get almost the exact same story beats as the first movie. Max is embarrassed by his father. His father's trying to push his 1960s, 1970s mindset onto not just Max, but the entire school, which is a little funny. I guess that you get the funny stuff from there. There's a scene where Goofy straight up dresses like Elvis with a giant afro and goes to class, and he's like, "How you do, fellow kids?"
I like those parts of the movie. I've said it repeatedly. I really do enjoy the movie. It's just it's a lot of the same, and that kind of sucks.
I don't have as much to say about this one, because my only really things to note about this movie is that there's a lot more Pauly Shore in this one.
I'm always happy to get more Pauly Shore in these movies.
Cheese Whizzay.
I looked up the character. Sylvia's the love interest. I like Sylvia and
Maximilian.
I like Sylvia and Goofy's relationship. I love the dance scene where they disco dance together and they have their La La Land moment after. It's a good time. It feels like a lesser experience, which sucks. But it's good. I recommend it. I recommend both movies.
Yeah, I recommend if you're watching a Goofy movie, you should watch an extremely Goofy movie as well. It is a little weird from both of them because in extremely Goofy movie, all the progress that was made between Goofy and Max is gone. They have to learn the same lessons that they learned in the first movie. Roxanne is nowhere to be found.
I think the quote I'm gonna call them villains. They're the antagonist is worse in this movie.
Yeah, Bradley Uppercrust.
The first movie doesn't really have an antagonist. The closest we get is the principal, but he's only in like 2 scenes. But I found him to be a lot more enjoyable in those 2 scenes than I did with the Gammas for the entire movie. I like the Gammas, but I feel like they're a little too cartoonishly evil. It does kind of borderline become a cult. I wasn't part of a frat in college. I'm sure there's some realism behind how they were acting, but I do kind of find that them to be a little too cartoonish bad guys. I don't want to say evil. They're not evil. They're just kind of dickheads. But they're a little too cartoony for my taste.
Yeah, I don't know. There's one point where they literally just try to kill Goofy.
I like the big guy though. It's one of my favorite tropes. And
yeah,
Tank.
Tank.
Like the Tank, like the bully. He's really big. But he's actually just a sweetheart. He talks like he's from Jersey. I love those guys.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Like this movie does have a lot of funny moments, funny jokes. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good faces in this movie where like the characters make weird faces.
It's a good movie. I just think it is worse than its predecessor.
I think it's a lot worse. It's not a bad movie. Like I gave Goofy movie 4.5, and I gave Extremely Goofy movie 3.5.
I gave Goofy movie a 4, and then Extremely Goofy movie a 3.5.
Okay, so for you it's half a star worse. For me it's a full star worse.
It's a full star worse. Regardless, it is worse. I think that's public opinion too. I think for the most part, even like the Goofy movie apologists, not the word I want to use, like the cult following, they also just tend to agree. I think the general public opinion is that the first movie is superior to the second one.
It's not extremely goofy.
The movie is very 90s, I'll give it that.
Oh yeah,
it is very 90s.
It's very 90s with the X Games stuff, the ESPN and the snooty frat kids. You get the other side of the movie, which is very 60s, with Goofy and Sylvia. I do really like the scenes with Goofy and Sylvia because They're Goofy finally finds somebody that shares his disco mindset. They both have mood rings, and the mood rings glowing in the La La Land scene. We're calling it the La La Land scene, but it's just the scene where they're on the bench. Their mood rings glowing is like the thing that makes him realize, like, oh my god, I'm in love with you. It's very 60s.
Those are the best parts of the movie, and ironically, they're the original parts of the movie. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should have gotten more of that.
Yeah, the good parts of the movie are like, I like the X Games stuff. I like the actual sports. And I like the Sylvia Goofy dynamic. And those are the 2 original things about this one. So you know what? Maybe they should have leaned more into that instead of retreading the same ground. But then, like, I don't know what they could have done with Max. I don't know.
Honestly, Max doesn't have much to do in this movie. Max doesn't get a love interest. Maybe he's still dating Roxanne, and like at this, maybe they're still dating, and it's just like they had to go long distance. We don't know. PJ ends up with the girl from the bar, which is really funny. She's a great character as well.
Yeah, she's great. She's another standout from this movie.
Goofy gets the love interest. The movie's really about Goofy.
Yeah, Max's only real involvement with the movie is butting heads with his dad and then the X Games stuff. But otherwise, he doesn't really get an arc per se. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, because I think everything that they could have done with Max, they already did in the first movie. So there wasn't much ground to tread.
Yeah, and then I guess like maybe they didn't want to do a Goofy movie follow up that was just Goofy, because Max and Goofy are the heart and soul. So I guess they didn't want to do another movie without the other there, you know. And I don't think I would have wanted one. I like Max. I like Max in an extremely Goofy movie too. I wouldn't want a movie without him. I just wish he was given a little bit more to do than just participate in the X Games and argue
Yeah.
with his father.
And with that being said, I would love a third movie. Honestly, I think they should do it.
People are tired of like Disney Plus like sequels to things, but I'd be totally down for like a Disney Plus, either like a movie or a show of Grandpa Goof and Max and Max's kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'd like that. I would definitely like I'd see it in theaters, but I think Disney Plus is a good place for something like that.
Yeah.
I would watch it. I would like another Goofy movie. I just want more Goofy. I like Goofy. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Disney character.
Goofy is absolutely my favorite Disney character. When I was a kid, it was Donald Duck, but now it's Goofy.
I think it's a good time for it. It's been almost 30 years, probably, right? When did Extremely Goofy movie come out?
2000. So it's been 25 years.
It's been 25 years. If you look at that in real time, Max would be in his 30s, right? Almost 40. He might have a kid. I think it now's a kind of a good time to retread that ground. Also, put him in Kingdom Hearts, please. Also, give me Kingdom Hearts 4. Where is it? I'm waiting.
You are getting a Kingdom Hearts game next year, Pat. I'm calling it. You're gonna get a Kingdom Hearts game next year, but it's not gonna be Kingdom Hearts 4.
It'll be another mobile spinoff.
It's gonna be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, and it's gonna be a sequel to Birth by Sleep.
Sure, dude, I'll take it. At this point, put Max Goof in it, I'll take it. But this is like more a real time. I think the last time we recorded, the Switch 2 wasn't even like a thing.
It was not announced. It was not even in the public knowledge when.
Yeah, it was rumored, of course, but like it wasn't like officially announced yet. And now the Switch 2 is out, and I spent like 5 hours grinding it for shinies today.
Yeah.
A lot's happened since we last recorded.
A lot has happened since we last recorded. GTA 6 has been delayed twice.
The first trailer was out then.
Yeah, the first trailer was out, not the second trailer. It was delayed twice. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Maybe the next time we record, GTA 6 will be out.
Well, hopefully not, because we want to start. We want to bring this back. We're bringing back Fresh Off the Reel, guys. This is for real.
Yeah, we got some ideas for episodes. Funny again, another real life moment. But at the time of recording, TwitchCon San Diego is happening, and a friend of the podcast, Kiki VT, is there, and I'm someone who watches the podcast. So if you're listening, you know who you are. Thank you for bringing it back.
Thank you for your kind words. We love you.
Yeah, we got ideas. Hopefully, we will stick to doing it more consistently this time. I got more movies I want to talk about, but we did promise Goofy movie last time, so here we are.
Yeah, we did promise, and also I guess this is our pseudo anniversary episode, because this episode was supposed to come out last August, so.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Fresh Off the Reel. We are 4 years old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to come back in full force here. So stay tuned in. That's the word. But before we go, we still got one more thing we got to talk about. We got to go over to Backlogged. This is the segment where we talk about movies, recommend each other movies to talk about in the next episode. Last time, 10 months ago, I recommended Pat a movie from my childhood called Rat Race.
You did, and 10 months ago, we watched Rat Race together.
Yep.
Let me check Letterboxd. When did I log this movie?
This was logged January 12th, 2025.
So it's been a while.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't remember watching this movie. I know I did. I logged it. We watched it together. We watched it with other friends too. It wasn't just us two. So I know for a fact that I've seen Rat Race. And before we started recording, Lib sent me a clip from the movie. So I've seen it. I know I've watched it. But unfortunately, I don't remember watching it. This won't happen again, because we're recording normally now. But I don't remember watching the movie. I guess the rats raced. That's all I've got to say for this one.
Look, it's a great popcorn flick. It's fun. It's got a really good cast somehow. But yeah, it's a great movie. It's really funny. It's jokey. Newman is in it, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Mr. Bean.
And Mr. Bean is in it. Whoopi Goldberg, Seth Green. It's got a great cast. It's basically it's a mad world, but in the modern day. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's funny. It's a very raunchy comedy.
But in exchange for me not saying much about my backlog entry, I was supposed to be the one talking. I picked a movie for you. I went through your watch list, and it's a movie I also haven't seen. So we'll be able to both talk about it, and that'll make up for my fumble this time. This movie, it's not a bad movie. It's a good one. I've heard. It's been on my list for a while. It is the Nice Guys, starring Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. It is directed by Shane Black from Iron Man 3 fame. I don't know what that means. He also directed the 2018 Predator. It's been on my watch list for a while. I'm personally excited to watch it, and it was on your watch list, so it works out perfectly. I was actually going to recommend you Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, just because I love that movie and I wanted to rewatch it. But I think we could just like watch that movie casually. I will force you, but like Goofy did to Max, I will force you to watch Mask of the Phantasm. So, for the podcast, we'll watch the Nice Guys. We'll talk about it whenever the next episode is.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be really soon because I wanna keep this ball rolling here. We got a good thing going. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, there's a couple movies on here on your watch list that have stuck out to me. So I've got ideas for backlog at least.
Yeah, and we got a whole Google Doc of movies that we need to talk about in the podcast. Movies that you guys have recommended us, and keep giving us more recommendations of movies you want to hear. Like just go on our link tree, linktr.ee/fresh off the reel, no spaces, no caps. So you could recommend us a movie to talk about in the podcast because we need more movies to talk about. Let's try to stay away from the superhero movies though, because I hate talking about them. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it and you want to see more, I already said it before, the link tree to check out all the other episodes that we have. It's been a long time since we recorded, so I'm gonna be a little rusty doing this outro. I apologize.
Yeah, I usually don't talk much in the outro, but I'm here.
Yeah, there he is. That's Pat. I'm Lib. This has been Fresh Off the Reel.
Next time I'll have a bit for the intro. I usually have a bit, but Goofy Pat didn't sit well with me, so I'll have something funnier for next time.
Pat Goof.
Pat Goof.
I guess that doesn't really work either. But
it's his name. Oh, you know.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, go check out the link tree, check out our last episodes, follow us on social media so that you won't miss another episode when it comes out, whenever that may be. Hopefully soon. Like I keep saying, hopefully soon. I'm gonna manifest it that that we're gonna keep doing this.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
And with that, we will see all of you in a theater near you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
So here's another funny thing. So the famous vegan reviewer on Letterboxd, gave this movie half a star, no star.
Wait, what?
And the only thing she wrote was rhyming trophy with catastrophe equals hard no.
Dude, she needs to lighten up.
She's stupid. I don't know what to say. I don't know how else to say it.
Big fan, by the way.
Big fan of the vegan reviewer. I love reading the reviews. Some of them are hilarious. Like this, like
how do you give this movie half a star?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently it's because Goofy rhymed trophy with catastrophe, and the vegan alert: a character overdoes it with cheddar spray. That's the vegan alert. Cheddar.
Cheddar. Come on.
Cheddar Wednesday.
How do you not like that?
Pauly Shore. Okay, that sounds like a good enough for a Tesla sound.